everybody. This is Amazing Fantasy Football. I am Josh, and over there is the peanut butter to my jelly.
Chris.
Yo, and
Sorry.
Chris, he always is. I had a better simile or comparison earlier, and I couldn't remember what it was, so it was just that.
It was short. It threw me off a little.
Chris, you ever had a peanut butter sandwich that you dipped into your chicken soup when you were sick?
No. Just peanut butter and chicken soup.
It's
Peanut
just
butter
bread and peanut butter.
No.
And then you take some Campbell's chicken noodle soup and you dip that peanut butter sandwich into it. You never did that when you're sick?
No. Do I look like
I didn't do that
madman?
until about 7 years ago when let's call it an acquaintance of mine turned me on to that. And by turned me on, not like arousal, but hey, what about this? Like, have you tried this? It's actually pretty good. Pretty good. You can have it when you're not sick. If regular chicken soup,
I'm going to
just
disagree.
dip that peanut butter sandwich in there.
I'm going to
Pretty
disagree.
good.
But
Pretty good. Chris, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing amazing. You know, it's the weekend. I believe it's spring break for a lot of folks.
What? No, that was the week before last around these parts.
So it's a spring break for me and Josh.
I said around these parts.
And Josh lives in Zimbabwe. No, I'm just kidding.
I live in around the university of the state I live in.
There you go. No, yeah, I'm excited about the weekend. I've got family coming into town that has been.
Ew, gross.
Right.
Oh, wait. Which family though?
So anyway, I'm excited about family coming into town.
Oh, it's that family. Yeah.
And moving along with
hot sister-in-law.
God damn it. You better edit this out.
I am so not editing it out.
I'm so giving you a different recording. I feel like...
So you got some family coming into town, and
yes, I got some family coming into town. Kids are excited. I'm excited. It's been a long time coming, and otherwise, just excited about. My wife took a week off work for kids' spring break, and excited, man. And hey, man.
You're going to Disney World.
Free agency and off season is in full swing, so that's also exciting.
No Disney World. Wow. Okay.
No Disney World. Heavens no. Who do you think I am?
I don't know. Walt Disney?
No.
I got nothing here. I got nothing on this. Okay,
Spider-Man.
so we are here to talk about free agency part 2, or that would be part 2 for all you English-speaking folk, which is Chris and I. I was just stealing that from Hot Shots part 2, which I've never actually seen. Never actually seen Hot Shots part 2.
I mean, it's not like you're missing Gone with the Wind or... That was a
I don't know, man. Like,
that was a horrible reference. I don't know why I said Gone with the Wind.
Shots part 2.
Blah
blah blah. And they're like Dukes as what they were what they were calling it. Anyways, we are here to talk about free agency part 2, which of course is going to start with the quarterback position. But before we do that, Chris.
Yes.
How you doing tonight?
You already did that.
I know. I'm going to ask you again.
I'm doing amazing. I'm having a great time talking to my buddy about fantasy football and other things. And again, family's doing great. Got more family coming into town.
Hot sister-in-law.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, so we're going to talk about the quarterbacks here. So let's start with the lesser quarterback signing here. The Atlanta Falcons have agreed to a contract with Marcus Mariota. It's a 2-year deal, and which way he will earn 6 3/4, so almost $7 million in this year in 2022, with $1.75 million guaranteed. And he gets a $5 million signing bonus. What? I have never read the contract stipulations in this, but he has a $12 million option for 2023. That's next year, and he's due a $3 million signing bonus next year in March. Why would the Atlanta Falcons do that when Matt Ryan's on their roster? Oh, that's right, because they traded Matt Ryan to the Colts in exchange for a 3rd-round pick. That's not. And Chris, I mean, you're in a dynasty league with me. You recruited me into your dynasty league, and we bounced this around in chat there. And I would express my displeasure. It wasn't my displeasure of actually the actual act of signing or of trading for Matt Ryan for a 3rd-round pick. Yes, I think it's a little steep, but not by much. It's more of I would have rather have the Colts have actually tried for more of a long-term goal of maybe getting a Baker Mayfield for a pair of 3rds or a 2nd, 3rd, or something like that, than getting Matt Ryan, who is age 37 or going to be 37 relatively soon. I don't remember when his birthday is. He's either 37 right now or he's going to be very, very soon. I don't remember which. I don't hate the signing. He's a 37-year-old quarterback that doesn't have a lot of mobility. The Colts offensive line wasn't exactly the greatest pass protector either last year. What do you think about this signing?
I think it fits like a glove.
Matt Ryan, and then we'll bounce back to Marcus Mariota.
I think it fits like a glove. I seem to recall. I'll give 2 examples. Obviously, Matt Ryan is not Brady, but Brady doesn't have a ton of mobility. Brady is at this point 4 years older, if not 5. He's well into his 40s. He's 41, 42.
Brady's 44 right now.
44? Dear Lord. So anyway,
I'm not lying.
These quarterbacks play I understand he's not the physical specimen of, name your XYZ example quarterback. All I'm saying is Ryan has been the consummate professional. He's been a Pro Bowler. Heck, I think he's probably been an All-Pro once or twice in his career, especially that year they had the best offense in the league. Probably the year they went to the Super Bowl and choked.
3 years ago, I think it was.
That feels right.
Hit 5,000 yards.
Yeah. Now,
very efficient.
Now, again, not glossing over your point. He's getting older. The cast around him has changed in Atlanta, and of course it's changing again here in Indianapolis. But no, I think it fits like a glove. I think they can get more than 1 year out of him. Absolutely, I do.
I think so too.
But you got a good offensive line in Indy, so that's a good when healthy. So I have reasonably high hopes for him. I also feel like in terms of fantasy, both dynasty and redraft, I think you might get a bargain. I think you're kind of right. I think there's some negatives. I think there's a sour taste in folks' mouth, and I think you might be able to get a decent deal. And I'm not saying he's going to set the world on fire, but if you're talking that 11 to 14 range in terms of quarterback finish in fantasy, I think he has a chance at that next year.
I think he has a chance to hire. He just needs some better receiving options other than Michael Pittman and some combination of, oh my God, what's his name?
Oh,
the running back.
T.Y. Oh, the running backs he throws to, Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor.
Hines. Is Hines still there?
Naeem Hines.
Yeah, he's sorry. Yeah, didn't they even extend him?
I wasn't looking for Taylor. I'm like, what's the other guy's name?
Right.
Naeem Hines. And then there's Mo Alley Cox, who's more or less
I don't like their
very short yardage, like red zone. The infrared zone, the hyper red zone, the goal to go zone. However you want to label it.
5 or 10 yards, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, 5-10 yard, like short yardage, just the biggest body out there. He's like 6'9" or whatever. He's LeBron James playing tight end.
I like the Ryan trade. I liked what they paid. I think, contract wise, I think they've got a year or two. He's
a third-round pick is you can still find suddenly he's an NFL starter in the third
and assuming
round.
they inherited,
but
assuming they inherited the contract, which had a year or two,
which they did.
He's a bargain, dude. I mean, he's not $50 million. I know that. I know that for a fact.
Okay. And I know that as well.
That's a bargain. Hey, they've been bargain shopping at quarterback for 3 years now?
Well, apparently the Colts tried for they made a stab at with Deshaun Watson, and of course the Texans were like, we're not going to trade our
Within division.
quarterback to a
With our
in
division, yeah.
division rival.
Especially the way it ended in Houston, yeah. So, good point.
Anyway, so but what about Marcus Mariota? Like, what do you think that he does for? And we're like, and let's make this one quick. But I mean, what does he
Fair.
do for Kyle Pitts? Because he's about the only pass catcher that you're really going to be interested in.
The only way I see it working for Pitts on the like trajectory side of things, meaning he continues to get better, which is, I mean, again, he's best tight end, unicorn, blah 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 blah, all the hype. He didn't disappoint last year. I think he's still on a great trajectory to get better because he was very young coming in the league. Marcus Mariota would have had to have just like completely kind of revamped what I've seen him do in the past through the air. I just don't think he has what it takes to get it done through the air. Having said that, I do believe the offense will still be very much focused around Pitts and Patterson. But, I mean, I don't know. I made the joke, and I think it was our Dynasty group chat, that they're going to run the wishbone or the wildcat with Mariota, Pitts, and Patterson, because what else do they have? We both chuckled at it, and I don't really mean that. I'm not calling my shot. But
It's not a bad idea.
I guess I'm not.
That's not a season-long fix. That's a let's do this at the beginning of the season just to throw teams off and let keep them guessing.
Hey,
You only do that if you have a good defense too.
and the Falcons still have their draft pick, so where are they picking?
Sixth, I think.
Yeah. So I don't think there's a quarterback you should be taking at six.
Top 12 for sure.
Yeah. I don't think there's a quarterback you should be taking at 6, but there could be some movement. They could drop back.
They're talking about like Malik Wilson or whatever the guy's name is out of Liberty, at going at number 2 to the Lions. I'm like, no.
Oh, you know what?
No.
Rewind that a little bit. I haven't heard Detroit talk. I've heard literal Falcons talk, meaning when it came down to Carolina, it was in this context. They said if you're Carolina and you want, I know what it was. It was a little tidbit a guy shared that had been at a pro day. Oh, his pro day, Malik's pro day, and he it was Matt Rule for Carolina, and he had him in the parking lot, and he said, "You taking Willis or whatever?" And he said, and he kind of laughed it off. And as they were kind of going to their respective cars, he said,
Willis. "Sorry, I said Wilson, but it's Willis."
Willis, yeah. He said, "I'm not sure he's going to be there." And to remind folks at home, Carolina is picking
6th, and I think,
yeah. Oh, I misunderstood it then. Maybe it wasn't. No, I swear it was Matt Rule. Okay, my apologies.
Yeah, because
he should definitely be there.
There's been a lot of buzz around Detroit taking him at number 2, like very recently.
I called my.
Why?
Go ahead.
And I think what Detroit's doing is that they're trying to create buzz around that,
so they can move down,
so they can trade down,
so they can move out
and get max value for that number 2.
And they'll go offensive line or defense. That's what they'll do. Yeah, if they're smart, honestly. I think you can ride with.
That's exactly what I would do.
I think you could ride with Goff for a year.
I would do everything to make every other team think that that's what I'm doing.
Plus, Goff is such a bargain right now. I know he's not good, folks. I'm just saying, in terms of the team,
he's also not terrible either.
But they're not going to make a playoff run with him, and they know that. So they're like, that's fine.
Okay, but why not wait till next year when the quarterback class is potentially better?
Yeah, we're getting a little in the weeds. I also really have heard a lot of Pitts.
We're going way off topic.
I've heard. Let me finish real quick. Let me finish real quick. Steelers is where I see Malik Willis going eventually. A lot of movement there to be had.
I don't think he makes it that far down. But okay.
All right, we'll see. Oh, no, I don't either. To be clear, they move up.
So you think the Steelers straight up? Anyways, that's a topic for a different show. Running backs, I believe, Chris, you wanted to do the running backs, so let's continue on there, and hopefully we can get a little bit quicker. We kind of went down a well there. Anyways, let's go.
I do have a 2 cents to put into wide receivers when we get there. Remind me. On to the running backs.
Okay, yeah.
Rashad Penny resigns on a 1-year, $5.75 million deal that has a max value of $6.5 million, as reported by Ian Rappaport.
And it also has a reeking of 1-year prove-it deal.
Yep. And hey, they'll put whatever. Moving on. Seattle needs somebody back there. he's as good as anybody they're going to find. Let's put it that way. Leonard Fournette re-signed on a 3-year, $20 million contract, max value of $24 million. That's nothing to sneeze at. Ian Rappaport reported.
Also not
where the
great either.
Yeah, for the Buccaneers. That threw me off the way.
Well, it's not great for Lenny Fofo either, but
no, but I think he knows he's only got so much left in the tank, and he fits their scheme well, and he played well, especially in clutch time.
It would take him to about age 30 if he were to finish out this deal.
And in fantasy terms, he's a big back, and he's a good catcher of the football. He's going to get work.
Let's keep rolling, and we can double back.
JaMycal Hasty signed a 1-year extension with the 49ers.
Sorry, I didn't put the deal. I didn't put the terms.
That's fine.
The notes.
That's kind of interesting guy to maybe keep your eye on. That's about it. On to Jeff Wilson re-signing a 1-year deal, worth $1,000,085 contract. Yeah, exactly. With $530,000 guaranteed. Tom Pelissaro reports that's with the 49ers. Again, re-signed with 49ers. Jeff Wilson. Matt Breida. Former teammates? No, they were in San Francisco at different times. Not important.
No, I don't think so.
No, they did play together? Okay. Signed a 1-year deal. Mike Garofalo points with the Giants. I'm sorry, the New York Giants signed Matt Breida. Ronald Jones.
That was just came out today, so I'm sorry I didn't have time to put that.
No problem. We had to add some stuff last minute.
I'm sorry. I'm
Ronald Jones
failed in putting the details into the notes.
Right. Speaking of Tampa and Fournette, Ronald Jones, former teammate, signing a 1-year deal worth up to $5 million. Tom Pelissaro reports Ronald Jones goes to the Chiefs.
That was just like
that's probably worth touching on. That's probably worth touching on real quick for a moment, because I think if not the draft capital Jones had coming into the league, the offense,
round pick,
the Chiefs offense, yeah, it's nothing to sneeze at with the running back.
I just like so. Here's my thing about this: is that Ronald Jones, he played in about 25 games over the last 3-4 years for the Bucks, and then he started. Let me put it that way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like A, he struggled with health. B, the last year and a half, he struggled to even get on the field and have significant playing time with the Bucks under Bruce Arians. Which what was it? It would have been in 2020. There was a big controversy at running back there, and even in 2019, and
I feel like for a couple of years, yeah.
And in 2019, there was a bit of a struggle there, because there was
for sure.
Oh, it was Ronald Jones, and it was Dario Ogunbowale. Oh, it was also Ronald Jones. It was
for at least 2 years.
Jones, the other guy there that was there too. It was just like, and then Lenny Fofo comes in at the end of the 2021 or the 2020 season, finally healthy after having some foot problems with
fresh
legs,
because he was hurt.
And also getting acclimated to the system, Bruce Arians system, and has not really looked back. Lenny Fofo's got that job unlocked, and the fact that Ron Jones couldn't even crack it other than just being a change of pace back. And I'm sorry, if Ronald Jones can't get the job done underneath one of the better offensive lines in the last couple of years for the Bucks, why am I supposed to think that he's going to be better now with the Chiefs, who are trying to fix their offensive line, and maybe they do in the offseason, but why am I supposed to think that he's going to be there? And I hate to keep throwing darts for Melvin Gordon to landing places, but really now that I really think about it, Melvin Gordon to the Chiefs makes a lot of freaking sense.
I think you worry about your offensive line and you maybe give CEH one more chance if you're Kansas City.
I think CEH is,
but generally
that CEH ship has sailed.
Well, let's get back to Jones though. In terms of Jones, I agree with you. I have 3 things to say. Number 1, as you put it, I agree. He's been a running back quagmire for at least 2 seasons and hasn't been able to separate himself. He's never caught more than 3 targets in a game last year. And Brady trusted Fournette. I think that's clear. And that's both a plus for Fournette and another knock on Jones. No, I'm out. No. I feel like there's still a piece to be added to that running back room. Let's put it that way.
Here's the thing too, as I highlight all these things about Ronald Jones.
How about Marlon Mack?
because
He didn't have a job.
wait. I do it because I just don't want people to freak out like everyone did with CH. Like, oh my God, here's this guy coming out of LSU that he's kind of an all-around back. He struggles at in this sort of
I
thing.
can see why a lot of
he signed
people
with the
missed,
Chiefs.
yeah.
Oh no, he signed with the Chiefs, so he's instantly we got to draft him in the first round. First round, we got to do it because he signed with the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes, great quarterback. Top 10, top 5 offenses in all the NFL. Gotta have CH on your fantasy team. Don't do that with Ronald Jones. Now, if you want to take Ronald Jones later in drafts, yeah, sure.
CH was a rookie.
Why not?
CH was a rookie. It was completely different. Like I like in the CH.
No,
I like in
it's
the
not
CH.
completely different because I want people to realize that just because you're going to a team that has a good quarterback and potentially a good offense with a good offensive-minded head coach. Andy Reid is a great offensive-minded head coach. Don't think that you need to in Dynasty.
I understand. You
trade
can't plug
for Ronald Jones right now.
I
or
understand.
B,
We're
think
both
that
out
you
on
need
Ronald Jones.
to draft him in your draft like as a top 7 round guy.
All right, got it. Understood. Got it.
That's why I
I
wanted to
understand.
stop
I
on
understand.
this
Let me
one.
finish. Ronald Jones.
No,
I
I'm
understand.
just-
You
no,
can't
you're fine.
can't plug anybody into Kansas City. I'm just saying CEH is a completely different example in that you can't blame folks for missing on CEH because he's more like a Zeke or a Taylor. He was taken at the end of the first, had a role right there to move into at the time an amazing offense. He was a do-it-all back. A lot of folks missed on him. That's all I'm saying. I mean,
I think there's
obviously,
a little bit of difference in as
I'm
Zeke or Taylor,
saying in terms of hype and the offense they went into at the time. Oh, well, Taylor, I guess the offense was considered less. That's fair. But
I didn't want to say
A
that
good-
it's just
a good
different
run offense.
Body type. CH has a different body type than
That's
those guys
not the reference
too.
I'm making.
So it was a little
That's not the
questionable
reference
even
I'm
at the
making.
time.
that's not the reference I'm making. Reference I'm making is in terms of where they took him in the draft and what
I know,
what
I'm
folks
just-
expected out of the running back in the set offense.
Okay,
I don't think it.
so
Hopefully, nobody expects that from Ronald Jones, and nor should they, because other backs have shown that you can't just plug anybody into Kansas City's offense, especially with their offensive line being in garbage.
And
right
maybe
now.
maybe he's the guy, but get him at a value. Don't get him at a high end value.
Yes, let him literally drop into your lap, and you're like, I guess
I mean,
there's
like
nobody else here
Hasty
in
and
the
Will,
16th round.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
I want to move along, but I want to circle back around to Hasty and Wilson just real quick.
Oh, okay.
And that they're, I think they're more of a threat to Trey Sermon than they are Elijah Mitchell. And the fact that they're there.
For sure. Except that, well, no, for sure. But keep in mind that Mitchell is starting to pan out to be a guy that gets dinged up a little bit. A lot of football.
How is he? He's played in one season.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Just keep your eye out for it. These guys could have value because they get playing time because he's hurt. Because he showed he get banged up last year. As a rookie. A rookie with a full off season, but still a rookie. Rookies tend to get banged up. They're not ready for the full season. The longest season in NFL history.
I'm sorry. I don't understand what you're. Do you have an argument or are you a point?
Mitchell
miss
gets
something
hurt.
there?
My point is Mitchell gets hurt. Potentially. I'm not going to go out on a limb and say he's an injury-prone guy, but he has shown in his first year and only year in the league
That doesn't.
the pattern could be there.
You're making him out to be a.
I am speculating that he could possibly be injury-prone.
Because of 1 year?
That's what speculation is.
Interesting.
Oh my God. It's not a far-fetched thing. I'm not saying move him down your draft boards. I'm saying keeping a guy on the people that are behind him.
No, I'm not. I'm just.
Such as Hasty
That's
and Wilson.
interesting that you would even go there with that, but okay.
He missed a
I'm
good
not
chunk of
arguing
time.
with you. I just thought it was interesting.
And
Some of that will be edited out.
I have no proof, but I'm pretty sure he was banged up in college.
He might have been. Chris, I believe you have the wide receivers.
Before I continue with the list of wide receivers we had to quickly discuss here, I would like to mention something about wide receivers in general. This thought occurred to me the other day. We've got 2 vacated spots in 2 high-powered offenses for 2 teams that didn't necessarily address it a ton in free agency. I'm talking about Green Bay and Kansas City. So somewhere out there, there's 1, maybe 2 rookie wide receivers that are going to come into the draft. I'm almost done. And it could be.
You're getting ahead of yourself.
I know it's draft. We're free agency, so this is about draft. But keep your eye out for some of these rookie wide receivers getting a really good job right out of the gate. That's all I'm saying.
Did you just say a Wookiee wide receiver?
Definitely a furry
Chewbacca wide receiver.
Definitely a furry mammal from Endor. Yep. Anyway,
the Wookiees are from Kashyyyk, but not Endor.
Right.
Endor is a gas. It has to be a gaseous planet because it has a forest moon where the Ewoks live.
Oh, so it's not Endor. Whatever, I don't care. So anyway, the reason I
move Endor where the Ewoks live, and Wookiees are canonically from the planet Kashyyyk.
Okay, cool. Nerd
alerts! That's this guy.
So the reason I mentioned that about keeping an eye out for, yes, free agent wide receivers yet to be had, but also rookie wide receivers is this first piece of news, along with the Davante Adams news from last week. Tyreek Hill was acquired in a trade with the Kansas City Chiefs and the Miami Dolphins in exchange for a 2022 first, a 2022 second, and a 2022 fourth round picks. I guess that's multiple. Wow. And a 2023 fourth and sixth rounders. Hill has, in related news, has agreed to a 4-year, $120 million extension that includes $72.2 million guaranteed. Both Ian Rappaport and Tom Pelissero report.
Which would be like 2/3 of that contract, roughly, I think.
This, for sure.
Guaranteed.
Yep, I think that's a good ballpark. This tops off an offseason that I have literally never seen in the NFL in my life.
Rich, I know we discussed about this in Dynasty League group chat. We did it before the show. And and this is outside of fantasy football. I still do not understand why the Dolphins did this. They gave up a crap ton of draft capital. They gave up a crap ton of money, and they also gave up a crap ton of money to and not a crap ton, but let me rephrase that. They also gave up money. They signed Cedric Wilson. They franchise tag Mike Gesicki. They did and I get that Tyreek Hill was probably oh wow, he's on the market now, and let's do this. But it's like they looked at the Tyreek Hill thing and oh, Tyreek Hill's available. Let's get him. But they forgot about every other aspect of their team other than, well, we can go and get Tyreek Hill. Why not do that? I'm like, what about everything else on your team too?
Yeah.
It really puzzles me. And I know you made the statement of Dolphins are trying to put weapons and everything around around Tua Tagovailoa, but they had that already. They had Jalen, or they had.
Oh, I never mentioned. I don't think it necessarily has anything to do with Tua, but go ahead.
But they had Jalen Waddle. They had Mike Gesicki already. They had franchise tagged them. They had signed Cedric Wilson, who he was just a product of the Cowboys offense, had been good at times. They already had Devontae Parker on that deal, which I'm not really sold on Devontae Parker. So, you could easily, but they also did other things to bring back Preston Williams and another guy whose name I'm kind of forgetting about, but I didn't bother to even remember it. As more of a depth guy. They have worked on their offensive line they brought in Terron Armstead.
Thank you.
Is that his name?
Yep.
From the Saints, and they brought in a guard too. I believe he was from the Cowboys, if memory serves correct. Connor Williams, maybe? Is that who it was?
That would be a former Cowboy. I didn't know they brought him in.
Yeah, they did. So they did they did some things to bolster their offensive line. But this Tyreek Hill thing, just the amount of draft capital that they sunk into this trade, and then turned around and gave him a mega deal to make him the highest paid wide receiver. I don't know, man. It's
I would say contrary
a
to,
head scratcher.
contrary
I'm
to the
literally
both.
like,
I would say
just-
contrary to
what?
both those points. First of all, they had tons of picks to give up, tons of first round picks to give up. Yes, they will not have one in this upcoming draft, but they have 2 in the next draft, and they just got finished having like 2 last year. I swear, like they got a ton of picks in these previous moves that they've done. Secondly, with cap, I mean, they've got money to spend because Tua is still on his rookie contract, which again I think is why it doesn't necessarily have anything to do with Tua. Meaning, they're like, we got what 2 more years on a cheap contract with Tua. If he's the real deal, that's plenty of time
About one.
and help.
One after this year.
So 2 total. We have-
This
yeah,
year and next, yeah.
exactly.
And then
Which is
I
plenty of
think that's-
time. Which is plenty of time to prove
That's
himself
when he should
because
be
they've
entering
given
his 5th
they've given themselves every reason in the world to get rid of Tua if he doesn't perform in the next 2 seasons. Period. And
Chris,
they've got
remind
the
me
cap.
of my
I'm almost
big question at the end of this show.
And-
I have
and
a
they-
big question.
and they've got the capital to do it in terms of first round picks and cap room.
Okay,
I love the I'm almost done. You're interrupting me. I love that they're being
Nope,
aggressive,
nope.
but you cannot understate the fact that they're in the middle of a lawsuit, and there's a certain something to be said that they're proving that number one, they're proving probably beyond a shadow of a doubt, or at least trying to make it look like that they're not tanking. Why would you tank? Why would you do any of these moves if
They
you're
weren't
tanking?
with Flores either.
That's what's in the lawsuit.
I don't know if I think
That's what's in the lawsuit, along with racist allegations. So by hiring a mixed race
I
dude,
will agree with.
by hiring a mixed race dude and signing the quote unquote best wide receiver in the league, are you glad that I closed my quote, sir? Although technically I closed it too soon. The best wide receiver in the league. So all I'm saying is, on paper, black and white, it looks like they are A, not taking, B, not quote, not racist. But moreover, we're a football show. I still contend that Armstead, and I didn't know about the Williams move, are hopefully going in the right direction, if not maybe enough. But hey, there's a draft chock full of offensive line help. So generally, I do like all the moves. The last negative I'll say is that the only thing I kind of don't get is the redundant assets of Ty Hill and Mr. Jeff Jamison Crowder on the frickin' brain. What's his name? Jalen Waddle. The redundant assets. They're not the same player. Hill is still a unicorn. He's still a one of a kind, which is why he gets this contract. But they're kind of the same player who's kind of wins in the same way. That's all I'm saying.
I don't think that Hill is a unicorn. I think
If I'm Kansas City, I hold out. I think I want them to include Waddle. I don't see how that doesn't happen.
Do you know the story behind this? And we can
This is the biggest news. We're fine. This is the biggest news. We'll wrap it up quick after that. Go ahead.
Davante Adams went to the Raiders and got a truckload of money to go to the Raiders, and then Tyreek Hill, who was working on a deal and close to a deal with the Chiefs, and his agent, whatever the big agent, sports agent is, something Rosenthal or whatever. He's also a baseball. He's a big sport agent guy.
Drew Rosenhaus.
Thank you, Rosen. Whatever Rosen. I don't care.
It's house.
That's his name. I just don't care. They were like, yeah, and then Tyreek Hill's like, oh well, I want to get a similar contract to that, and the Chiefs are like, and then Tyreek Hill's like, fine, trade me then. And then he's like, well, the Dolphins or the Jets are interested in that, or the Jets were interested, and he's like, yeah, I could just go to the Jets for that kind of money, and the Dolphins were like, oh well, we'll pay this instead. And he's like, fine, trade me the Dolphins. And he completely used the Jets to drive up his trade value, his contract. This is all like fact.
It happens all the time.
Yeah, but it was the Dolphins couldn't.
I think the Chiefs were just like
$20 more to be more.
I think the Chiefs were like, we just signed a $50 million quarterback a year or two ago, so yeah, we're not gonna overextend ourselves for a receiver.
Let's continue on, man. We got more news.
Yep, that's
we
fair.
really do.
Robert Woods was acquired in a trade.
Let's circle back around to some fantasy value things that we got way too far into real life NFL and not fantasy.
Oh,
on
for
that.
Ty Hill? I
what?
mean, for Ty Hill?
No,
For the
yeah, but let's move along to Robert Woods here. What about
Okay,
Robert
cool.
Woods?
Robert Woods was acquired in a trade with the
Don't
Rams.
forget about Bobby Woods.
Was
Bobby
acquired in a
Woods.
trade with the Rams, 2023 6th-round pick. Like the same thing Amari Cooper was acquired for.
Mhm.
To the Titans. So he teams up with AJ Brown, I think is his name, but I don't care. They both.
Oh man, really?
fantasy
Like, no, this
worthless.
is good for Bobby Woods.
I mean for real life Bobby Woods, but not for fantasy because I still think they have the same quarterback they had last year, and I'm out on all of the pass catchers for the
You're
Titans.
just
I'm bitter. I am bitter. I am bitter.
you
I will
are
admit
so
it.
like you are so like you are the post hype guy. You are the anti post hype guy on Ryan Tannehill, which is fine. But it's not.
Oh,
to say
are
that
you
he can't replicate
are
it.
you firing up the train? Are you firing up the hype train
not
here?
at all.
All right then, keep your Tannehill comments to yourself. I mean, what do you want from Robert Woods? He's coming off an injury. It was a 6th-round pick. He's obviously
Mid-season
valuable.
ACL injury, yes.
I love the player. I just
But
don't love the offense.
You know what I love? I love about week 4 of trying to trade for Robert Woods.
Yeah, the only way I'm trading for Robert Woods
right
is if
now trading for him in Dynasty.
The only way I trade for Robert Woods is if A, Derrick Henry goes down, and B, Ryan Tannehill makes a deal with the devil to become talented all of a sudden. That's it.
He's not a bad talent. You are just
To be fair, he'll probably be on the
freaking
waivers.
ridiculous.
Woods will probably be on the waivers, right? At that point in the season.
In Dynasty, hell no.
Oh, in Dynasty, no. To be fair, we're in the offseason. This is the Dynasty show. No, I think he's a great move in Dynasty, especially if you can get out from under Tannehill.
I think he's an amazing buy low in Dynasty.
There you go. But how low? What do you think you get him for? Don't say
I'm going to try for
a 4th. It'll take a 3rd.
No, I was going to go for a 3rd.
Yeah, it'll take a 3rd.
I'll go anywhere in the 3rd.
You trade the 301 for him? Exactly. I agree with you. A 3rd is fine. You would? I wouldn't.
If I'm set at wide receiver for now, yes.
If I'm set at wide receiver, I could use my 3rd-round pick to take a flyer on another wide receiver in the rookie draft. I don't know.
No.
I love the player. I just do not like the destination.
No, if I'm in win now mode, but I'm also currently set at wide receiver.
It's a better dart throw than a rookie. That's fair. It's better dart throw than a
Absolutely.
3rd round. It's a better dart throw than a 3rd-round rookie. Absolutely, it is.
And Bobby Woods has
He's got the talent. Absolutely.
All the above average talent in the world.
So he's better than Julio at this point in their careers. Clearly.
Hard to say.
Yeah, it's same quarterback throwing him the ball. Same complimentary wide receiver 1 on the other side.
But Julio got injured so early, it was never had a chance. Let's move along.
Marquez Valdez-Scantling signed a 3-year, $30 million deal with the Chiefs. He's fast.
I don't know how, but he got $10 million a year.
Yep.
36 of it guaranteed. So even if it's 1 year, he got $36 million.
It's all guaranteed? Wait,
no,
what?
36 of the.
It's a $30 million
with the
deal.
max value. Oh, I read that wrong. My bad.
Okay, yeah. So
I'm going to go for here now.
Go into the desk. That'd be great with the dog. I'm just kidding. The dog's probably not under the desk. I'm just saying.
He is.
Okay, so I have a couple quick takeaways, and I'll throw it to you. I don't know the guaranteed money, but this is a decent.
Called it.
This is the deal. B, you called it. I'm gonna have a D now, and you're gonna confuse me. C, he's fast. D, he plays for the Chiefs, and E, Josh called it.
So A, he's never caught more than 50 balls in a season. I can't remember the exact number. It was either 50 or less.
This is also. I think this is like the exact number that the cap opened up when they traded Hill.
B is I mean, is Patrick Mahomes better than Aaron Rodgers as far as throwing a deep ball? I don't know. They think they're probably pretty equal, right? Maybe Patty Mahomes is better.
I think you could go either way.
Yeah. So if you can't Dude, I don't know about you, but like, I mean, I live in Iowa, so I have to watch a lot of Packers games, and I've seen MVS drop some in the breadbasket throws from
Oh,
Aaron Rodgers.
there's a reason he's gone for sure. They lost Devontae Adams, and MVS is still
Let's
gone.
not just freak out. Like, and the
Yeah.
reason I'm pointing this out is let's not freak out about MVS going to Patrick Mahomes when he was coming from Aaron Rodgers. The
Fair.
only reason I'm saying
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, one could look at it as a lateral move, is your point, right?
It's exactly what it is.
I
Don't
would
go
agree.
over the moon.
I would
Now,
tend to
if
agree.
now
I mean, they might use them.
there's gonna be like shit from and yeah, I'll leave that even in.
I mean,
won't even edit it out.
logically,
there's
the
gonna
first-
be shit from training camps. They'd be like, oh, MVS and Patrick Mahomes are connecting on deep balls and blah blah blah. Of course they are in training camp. When it comes to game time, watch them drop these things. And you know what? Maybe you'll get some value out of MVS. It probably ain't gonna be weekly value.
You still have to address the fact that there could be a ton of targets coming his way, just out of sheer.
I think it's gonna be more. I think it's gonna be more Juju. Don't
Again,
forget the
going back
Juju's
to
there now, too.
my point at the beginning of the wide receiver conversation about keep an eye on a couple of rookies coming in for either Green Bay and or Kansas City. Dude, we
But
just got.
I don't think any of these rookies are day one impacts. So
Yeah, you also thought that Chase dropped the ball too much, just like I did.
who?
Jamar Chase turned out to be one of the best wide receiver classes, comparable to I forget 3 years ago. I'm not saying you're wrong or I was
You know
wrong.
what to say to that?
What?
In my face.
In my face too. To be clear, I
Face.
just wanted to mention that, and then the last thing was
Jamison Crowder went to the Bills.
yes, that was definitely it. You want to move on to tight ends after that? Sanders.
Let's talk about Jake Crow real quick.
All right, we're 41 minutes deep. Let's get her done.
Yes, we are, and so we got to get a little bit quicker here.
Isn't Sanders still
but
there?
I wanted to pause with Jake Crow there. Jamison Crowder. I like the guy. I think he's not a special talent, but I mean, he's a guy that is just like balls thrown his way, he's going to catch it. The only problem with that is that Emmanuel Sanders is still there. Stephon Diggs is still there. Gabe Davis is still there. Gabe Davis, who was coming off a historic playoff game.
Run. Yeah. Playoff game. Yes.
Freaking phenomenal game.
That's nothing to. I know it's one game, but man, that shows something about in the. I think it's one of those situations, Josh, where you were a season too early. Almost on the dot.
Potentially.
I think you were a season too early. I think was it David? There was two of them. There was Davis and another one.
Manny Sanders makes it into the regular season as a Bill.
I would tend to say he doesn't make into the regular. Well, to your point, he doesn't make into the regular season as a top 3 wide receivers on the Bills, thereby maybe facilitating a trade. If you're not going to make me a 2 or 3, deal me. But I generally they might keep him. But it's a moot point at that point.
I like Jay Crow going there. A name I literally just came up with.
But at the same time, Josh, I don't feel like right. I like it. I don't feel like Crowder necessarily has more in the tank than Sanders. I know the age is probably a good 4 or 5 years off the top of my head, but they're both vets. They're both been injured.
I think Crowder's about 29.
I'm guessing
that would be about right. He's been around for a little bit.
He sure has. So I'm going to say, in terms of just what they have left in tank, veteran talent, speed, or should I say, losing a step or two. I don't know. I feel like they're right there. I really do.
28.
And Sanders is 34, 33.
Probably.
So, I mean,
Dude,
I guess
can only Google as fast as I can type. All right.
I'm thinking out loud. You know that. I would still err on the side of you being correct about Crowder and pushing out.
35.
Oof. Okay. Fine. Crowder.
Yikes, yeah.
Crowder and Gabe Davis.
Just turned 35.
Unless
St. Patty's Day. He's one of the outerest crowd.
I mean, if he's still in contract with him, I guess. If he's like you said, he is. So whatever.
I'm not
maybe
gonna look that up, man. All right.
No,
just,
maybe
why you
maybe
make me
he's
do a lot of typing? Okay.
Maybe he's willing to take a back seat because he's.
Anyways, let's move along to some tight ends. Sorry, we can double back. It's fine. Let's get the tight ends done. So we got tight ends left, Chris. We got tight ends. We got a couple of tight ends to cover that are going to the same team. We got Tyler Conklin, who received a nice payday from the Jets following his breakout season with the Vikings. What? That doesn't sound right. Anyways, he's getting a 3-year, $20.25 million from the Jets, with 10 of those 20.25 guaranteed. 10 million guaranteed. And then the Jets also signed CJ Uzama, formerly of the Bengals, to a $24 million deal, a 3-year, $24 million deal with a 15 guaranteed. Does this sound like a cheaper version of the Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith deal that the Patriots did last year? Sure does.
Yep.
Actually, about the same amount of guaranteed money, kind of ish, between those two. But anyways, we'll circle back around to that in a second. Robert Tonyan, he re-signed a 1-year, $3.75 million contract with a max deal of $5.5 million with the Packers.
Mhm.
I thought that was kind of weird. I thought Tonyan was under contract already going into this for the next couple of years, but all right.
He's a little older.
My
I know
bad.
that, and he also wasn't.
I know that,
anything
but I
his
thought
first
that
couple
like
years.
last off season he signed a 3-year deal. I obviously am mistaken. Once again we can circle back around. Let's go to Gerald Everett. He signed a 2-year, $12 million deal with a max of 13.5 with the Chargers. And I love this deal for Justin Herbert. I love it for Gerald Everett. I mean, I really like Gerald Everett going to the Seahawks, but then they just kind of dished it out to Will Disley, and then Gerald Everett had his days, had his weeks, I guess.
I think last year was solid. Maybe is a good way to.
It was
of real
okay
NFL.
at times. It really was. It wasn't like fantasy superstar, but it was like, hey, if you picked the right week, Gerald Everett did you okay. And
a 5
there
or
was
6
a week
target
or two
week,
outside of
maybe
him scoring a touchdown too.
Exactly.
So,
he
I'm like,
was
yeah.
up there. I mean, he didn't score double. He may have scored half a dozen, but probably not even that. But yeah, he definitely had his 5 or 6 target games that I don't want to say came out of nowhere that were usable.
But I love him going to the Chargers. Like I think the Chargers offense remains one of those offenses, like hailing back to the days of even Antonio Gates being there. Is that like I think the ownership just loves, and I'm not even saying it's the same ownership, but I mean, like I just love the idea of there being a significant tight end of significance. Let's put it that way.
Is nothing to sneeze at for sure.
And
going back
I
to
know
the
that Donald
Henry
Parham
stuff,
was kind of their tight end in development. He was a restricted free agent.
But I also think he's a bigger body.
He also suffered a severe neck/head injury last year too. So they're still kind of waiting on that, kind of to see how well he's going to bounce back from it, and hopefully he does. Like even just in a real life aspect, and not just NFL, but just a real life aspect for the guy.
For sure, I'd forgotten about that.
Hoping for the best for him.
Go ahead.
I mean, like obviously you were in on Tonyan, like full board this past.
Yeah, but they got a bargain here. Just not regardless of what you think Tonyan may or may not do this coming season. They got a better deal on him because of his lackluster season last year. I mean, he's banking on his touchdown season.
Injury.
Yeah, but he didn't play really good while he was quote unquote healthy either. So I don't know. I would just say in terms of the 4 tight ends you mentioned, you cut in half.
You didn't actually quote anything. You just said quote unquote. You didn't actually quote anything.
I could say that in terms of the 4 tight ends you mentioned, you can just cut them right in half. The 2 Jets guys are just
wait. We're not cutting anyone in half here, Chris.
Going back to your point about the Hunter Henry, Jonnu stuff, they're just going to cannibalize each other. There's not enough usage there. It's a second-year quarterback. It's an offense we don't believe in yet. Blah. The 2 significant ones are Tonyan and Everett. I really like the Everett deal to San Diego. There's a hole there to fill.
I love it.
There's passing volume. There's a good defense on the other side of the ball to give Herbert and perhaps Everett more chances. I think. Everett
where do you want Everett right now? Like just knee-jerk reaction.
Like dynasty trade value or
no? Just redraft. Like where are you thinking? Like maybe 8th, 9th round, if not later.
I mean, I hope I can get him as like the tight end 11, 12, 13, like right in that area where people are like, pick your tight end 12. Take your guy you believe in. I think this is the guy I would believe in. If I could get him around double-digit rounds, sure, let's do it.
Interesting. I want him as part of a. I'm going to draft 2 tight ends like mid to late, just to hope that I hit on one of them, and then the other one I can cast aside.
And Everett your second is what you're saying, I assume?
He'd be one of that.
Because I don't think you need to draft mid, like, yeah.
By mid, I mean like 9 and later. I'm going to draft 2 tight ends to try and hope that I hit one of them.
Okay. 9 or later is fine. Like I said, double digits-ish. I'm fine with Everett. Not punt.
Maybe Everett and Tunyon together, actually. Why not?
Yeah, again, I think Tunyon will fall in fantasy because lackluster year, regardless of the reason. I think recency bias, you know.
Anyways, anyone this week? I know we're running long because we've gotten a little long-winded on some things for various long-winded reasons. Alcohol. Anyone you want to revisit in this show or last show that or you're thinking of? I mean, like, I really want Melvin Gordon to go to either the Texans or what did I say earlier?
I would say two things. I'll mash a couple names into both things that I'm going to say.
Go for it.
Mac and Melvin
Mack?
Gordon. Oh, I think Melvin Gordon and Mac are on the kind of the same level in terms
Are you
of.
talking about Marlon Mack or?
Yes, Marlon Mack.
Okay,
I'm sorry.
okay.
Marlon Mack and Melvin Gordon, I think, are 2 great names to mention in terms of guys that are still out there that are.
I think Marlon Mack is an
absolutely
excellent name to bring up.
There's going to be a role to fill.
Dude, I mean, fucking kudos to you, man. Marlon Mack is an excellent name to bring up because he's a guy that can do just about everything. Maybe he's a jack of all trades kind of guy.
Yeah, well, and I think, and throw Gordon in there too. I just think there's going to be a role open up. There's going to be a hole open up in the running back carousel or whatever you want to call it. The last thing I'll say is just hammer home what I said about the wide receivers. Wait and see what we might see in terms of can MVS fill a role in Kansas City? Can who the heck is going to catch the ball in Green Bay? I mean, I don't think what's his name, Lazard is the answer, but who's literally on the depth chart right now? It's Lazard. So just keep your eyes peeled. Let's see what happens. Let's look at the draft. I can't think of a free agent wide receiver right now that's going to come into either one of those situations and jump to the front, top of the depth chart, except for maybe Green Bay, because Lazard is the only guy there that I know of. So
but Green Bay's also in a bit of a salary cap hell too.
Exactly.
So otherwise, I think they should be like looking at Will Fuller and just be like, please.
Thank you. Okay,
here.
You gave me my praise for Mac. I give you your praise for mentioning Fuller. Fuller is a good thing to look at with Green Bay there, maybe. I think maybe Kansas City got their Fuller with MVS kind of thing. I'm not saying the same player, not saying the same talent. I'm just saying there's holes to fill in these 2 potent offenses. No matter what you may think about how they may take a town tick or not, I'm the guy who's kind of thinking Mahomes might take a bit of a backseat to a couple of guys, but these are 2 still going to be really good fantasy offensive as they can get their P's and Q's together with their receiver situation.
That is one thing to bring up real quick. And just real quick. Travis Kelce, is he still a first round pick at tight end?
No.
Where does he fall in your
second round?
Just where? Front half, back half, second round?
Just to play it safe, I'll still say, 201 to 205.
You can say middle if you want.
Just have to I can't talk. Half to beginning. 201 to 206 type of thing. Anywhere in that area, I'm okay with that.
Knee-jerk reaction on getting rid of Ty Hill. I'm gonna say that it's probably like front half of the second round.
I don't think Kelce can catch
as of right now, front half second round.
Oh, Ty Hill himself?
No. I'm talking about Travis Kelce.
Oh,
you
the
still
damage
have MVS
to
potentially take the top off the defense. Yep. Not that I'm really that sold on it, but there's that.
I just don't think
create a narrative in your brain.
I don't think Kelce can.
You have Juju, who has not been a pinnacle of health, but is still like he's still a middle of the field.
He's probably one of the better possession receivers in the league.
Mm-hmm. Well,
he's no Amari Cooper, but he's a good possession receiver.
He's more whereas Amari's more of a sideline worker, Juju's more of a middle of the field guy.
Fair.
I just I still like Travis Kelce there. I think that he's probably their best pass catcher, and he'll be more of a Mark Andrews sort of guy. Anyways, let's end this. Let's end this, man.
I don't think Kelsey can catch more targets than he already is. I think he's only getting older. Doesn't mean he's not chance to be elite again, but just don't think he can get better with the absence of Hill, clearly. But that's all. Yeah. Let's wrap her up.
I don't know, man. Tony Gonzalez was still an elite level, still a top 10 tight end,
with
top
Julio
5
Jones.
tight end
With
going
Julio
into
Jones.
his age 36 season.
With Julio Jones. And Roddy White one season, I think.
I didn't do the math. I didn't do the research and how they overlapped. Okay.
He definitely, he at least had
just
Julio.
Give me that.
In his prime.
All right.
In his prime. Julio in his prime.
So we have been Amazing Fantasy Football. You can follow this guy right here. This guy doing social media, never before social media, at Josh_AFFB or
the
just
Twitter
search
plug.
for
Let's do it.
that sort of thing. You can also check out Chris at Amazing
Fantasy 7 on Twitter.
Fantasy 07.
No, just 7.
On
but
Twitter.
okay. It's on the screen.
I thought it was 07, but okay. I thought I set up that account. Anyways, or you can email us at amazingffb@gmail.com. Please give us a rating or a review. Leave some comments in the YouTube comment section. Do whatever you can. When we garner some responses, I will, or some comments, I will. Nice pointing, by the way. Right on the right side, which is actually your left side, or
I
your
did it
right.
wrong
I don't know
first.
how it works anymore.
I did it wrong first. You must have missed it.
When we get some reviews and some legitimate ones, and we get a backlog of them, I will start reading them. Like this one from the person I'm going to make up. These guys are made up, and I don't think they're real. But at the same time, I'll still give them 5 stars. And that was from an anonymous person at the review thing, which I just made up. So if you want to leave a real review, I will read it. And if it's a bad review, I'll probably make fun of it too. Or I'll make fun of myself because that's what I do best. Because I hate myself, and it's not because of self-esteem. I just know that I'm not a good person. Chris, do you have anything else to add?
Join our Discord. Check us out on Twitter.
That's right.
Share.
Join the
subscribe.
Discord too. Always Discord channel. Our Discord channel will be in the notes, and it's a little bit inactive right now because, well, I mean, it's fantasy football. But
And last thing,
we can't talk about other things like some Elden Ring. Elden Ring is the shit.
Last thing I'll say is we have some big things planned for we'll call it start of regular season, aka August, etc.
Does that mean we're gonna do we're gonna do a multiplayer Elden Ring?
No, because you said don't do any gaming on this channel. But we're gonna do more streaming on this channel. We're gonna make the show more of a streamlined.
And we're gonna stream Elden Ring on this channel.
We're gonna make it a streamlined stream
about Elden Ring.
Nobody wants to tune this channel to watch you play Elden Ring.
But they could.
They could
if I wanted them to.
They could, but you shot that
because
down
Elden Ring is
a week ago.
Infected my brain.
It is. Good night, everybody.
Adios. Play Elden Ring. It's the best game ever.